Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. Friends, recently we have seen the volatility in the entire market and things gone haywire. And there are lots of things which are creating this kind of impact simultaneously. Now we are going to discuss about it. Although there are various reasons, whether you are talking about the common market volatility, whether you're talking about inflation, whether you're talking about bond yield rising, or whether you're talking about bombing in Syria. So there are lots of things, reasons that triggers the global sell-off. But what we are going to discuss in this video is how the bond yield. So this chart, which you can see on your screen, is the uh, chart of a US 10-year Treasury yield. Now, how it has moved, where it is right now, and we are going to look at the three main indices: Dow Jones, S&P, and Nasdaq, and what it is saying in the shorter term. So we are going to discuss all of it so that we can at least get a sense of information about what is the actual status in terms of trends and how it will probably move going forward. So let's start. Now, what we are going to do, this is the treasury yield, as I told you, 10-year treasury. So I'm going to the short term chart. This is the short term chart, and you will see a very sharp spike. Okay, so as you can see here, it's started moving from the lows of August, which is nearly zero point 0.5, and it went up to 1.55. So it's a 200% worth of move, and if a bond yield move like this within a span of 6 months or 8 months, then it's a big deal. Okay, now talking about the trend, how does it looks like, because it not only impact the global market but the US market as well. So things are those who are taking money, obviously the cost of fund will increase and all those things. Now there is another theory of normalization, because economic growth is picking up, so obviously everything will normalize. That's another thing. Now here we can see that if I draw a trend line like this, probably the upside for the time being has been halted, and here you can see that it has started correcting from the resistance line, and probably in the next couple of days or weeks you will see that the treasury yield, so here we are, so the treasury yield will get corrected and probably it will touch the lower end of the range. That's what we can probably see, which means that it will come down to 1.12, 1.14. Okay, so this is the level which one may probably see in the treasury yield. That is good for equity markets, and don't think that this is just a move of 1.4 to 1.2. So whether this is going to mean a lot, yes it does. Okay, because bond market, the weightage of bond market is very big compared to the equity market, so even a smaller move means a lot. Okay, so this first of all, these kind of indications we are getting, and as you can see in the past, I would say 1 month or so, in the past exactly 1 month, it has really spiked a lot. Okay, and there is an increase of 55% in a span of 28 days. So this is very big, and that's why you have seen this kind of irrational moves and market becomes volatile, because 55% move in the yield of bonds means a lot. Now let's see, because it has started correcting from the resistance level, so hopefully the market will stabilize in the upcoming days and weeks. Now the next thing is about the impact and how does it impact and what's the impact on uh, Dow Jones, S&P and Nasdaq. So we are going to look it one by one, but I think most of you, those who are in US market, knows these things. But still, I mean, S&P is a combination of all, whereas Dow Jones mainly focus on industrial and Nasdaq is on the technology side. So S&P, SPX or S&P 500 will give you a sense of balance about the overall market because first of all, let's go to Dow Jones where I will show you what I'm actually talking about. So if I using Dow Jones, what you will see here that market has recently become volatile for in case of DJI. So for Dow Jones indices, okay, so for Dow Jones, what we can see here is a consolidation. Okay, so this is the level of consolidation and the indices actually breaks out, but it is counted as a false breakout and it again falls down inside the range. Okay, and that's what has happened. So this is the range. Okay, this is the range what we are talking about. Now where are your support levels? So you have your first support level at 30,620 and you have your big support at 29,906. And if there is a turnaround, then you have your resistance at 31,275, which means that stock has a probability to go further on the downside. You have these two levels, and if there is a turnaround, we will wait for this indices to sustain above 31,275 so that we can actually make sure that it is out of the woods and it has a probability to go further on the upside rather than on the downside because it has started moving and it has again started falling down. Okay, so these two levels we are going to look at as our support levels from which from where there can be a probable turnaround. Okay, and if there is a sudden turnaround in the market, we can't say that the stock has to come down to 30,620. If there is something good, it will again started moving up. In that case, we will at least wait for this level 31,275 to get crossed and sustain above that, which will give an indication that probably now we will move toward the upper end of the range. Now, coming to Nasdaq, we will talk about I mean the S&P in the later end because that's a combination. So we are going to talk about the two indices which represent one, like Dow Jones represented the industrial side, Nasdaq represent the technology side. So that's why we are covering these two first before talking about. So here we are. Okay, so as far as Nasdaq is concerned, it is actually taking support and it is near to its recent support, very near to its recent support. Okay, so this is the support level and here we are, and on the upside we have these two levels. Okay, so what Nasdaq is saying us or telling us is it is near to its support level, which is 13,014, and if there is a breakdown below 13,014 or 13,000, it may go down towards 12,585, which is the next support. Okay, but if it holds, which seems likely for the time being, at 13,000, then the target that we are looking at will be 13,695, and if 13,695 gets crossed, then it moves toward the higher end of the range, which is 14,200. So things doesn't look so gloomy in Nasdaq as compared to the Dow Jones indices. Okay, now moving to SPX or S&P 500. Okay, so S&P 500 is giving us a different kind of signal, and it is it is much more balanced. And if you just look at this, you will see, or you will get a sense that probably it is also near or at its support level, because the weightage or the kind of number, the what I mean to say is the variance in the stock, or the types and the kind of stocks in this particular indices is different. So the flavors are different, and it will somewhat manage the trend. Okay, so if you are using SPX, what you are getting is that probably the stock indices, okay, is at its support level. As you can see here, you have two specific support level. First at 3,792, and your next support at 3,762, and stock has already tested 3,792 and bounced back. So this is at its support level, but the thing is the stock must not break below 3,762, otherwise you will see further correction on the downside. And if it holds, which it is right now in the last 2 or 3 months, then we are heading towards 4,000 on the upside. So things are not so gloomy the way it has been painted, at least not in terms of data. If something which is hiding, we will get to know. But the signals which you can see from the current trends or the price till date or the yield till date is that the yield has probably peaked. It has been peaked in the short term, and it will probably correct a bit, which means that the correction on the stock market probably is at the end, and we will definitely see some upside going forward, which means in the upcoming days and in the upcoming weeks. So this is the end of the video. If you like this content, do share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe my channel. Lastly, take care of your family and friends.